The Black Hole. That's right. On this episode of Movie Tales, we are headed back to 1979 to dive into our first Disney film. Is that surprising? Yes. I can't believe I haven't done a Disney film yet because I'm a big Disney guy, but hey, it's The Black Hole. The pinnacle of science fiction for the PG audience. One of the first PG movies Disney ever made. It's also one of the last movies ever made to feature the overture, where all the information comes to you at the beginning of the movie. Sadly, if you're watching this on Disney Plus, you don't see those features because they have it blacked out, which is weird to me. Why they didn't have it, I think somewhere over time it was lost or something, but the audio remained. Just get rid of it then, whatever. Okay. We've talked about a lot of movies on this so far, ranging a genre of just everything in film. The Black Hole, out of all the movies we looked at so far, and again, this is only 12 episodes in, The Black Hole is my favorite film we've talked about. I absolutely adored this. I have the vaguest recollection of it from when I watched it when I was younger. I haven't seen it since. And it was one of the ones that I'm like, as soon as I said I'm going to do this show, I knew I had to do The Black Hole. Because I loved it. This film is great. The practical effects look great. Just the way the ships look, the way the ships move, the costume set, the set dressing is unbelievably fantastic. Like, when we're in the Palomino, it just looks incredible. Like, just the tight spaces, the way the ship is just so bulky and full of, like, these blocky textures and everything. We go to the Cygnus, and everything is so vast and expansive. It looks absolutely spectacular. And I love the way that 70s and 80s films try to capture the future, because it is so inaccurate. Everything is still so blocky in this, like, full thing. I love, one of my favorite parts of this movie is when they're scanning the Cygnus while they're on the Palomino. And it's just a traced outline of all the ships from Earth. And they're just sending it around to see if it fits in the diagram. It is so great to see that. So, it's called The Black Hole. Basically, we are the crew of some small amounts of people here. 5, maybe, if you count Vincent. Basically, we're like, okay, we're going to look at a ship. It's by a black hole. The black hole's kind of pulling us in. And that's something I kind of want to talk about too. Like, I know people are like, Disney's rebooting all their stuff, but they could never make The Black Hole, because there's a good 20 minutes of this film that is just them trying to evade getting sucked into a black hole. It's slow. It's just a bunch of 40-year-old men sitting in front of like a bulky computer, pushing buttons and yelling at each other. It's awesome. It just looks so cool, and it was so fun to see that. The costumes are great for this. But they get away from the black hole. They see the ship that they were trying to signal in called the Cygnus. They're like, oh, we should go check that out, because the lights suddenly turned on. And what ensues is a brilliant portrayal of one man's insanity going too far. So let's get into some of the character moments and some of the characters in this. This is our second film starring Yvette Mignot, which is kind of impressive to me. I didn't think we'd be getting that much of her this soon. She is fantastic. She looks completely different than what she did in The Time Machine. She delivers a performance that's slightly getting better than what we saw her do 18 or 19 years prior. She actually gets to hold a gun in this one. She gets to be part of the crew, fire away, but she is still the damsel in distress sometimes, which really sucks to see, because she's obviously the best actor on the ship. She did fantastic. I loved seeing her performance. Anthony Perkins. Weird that this is our first Anthony Perkins film, but again, he definitely has a distinctive look that you fully understand. And his whole deal is like, he wants to join the Cygnus and all the weird things that like Dr. Reinhardt is doing. He's like, I trust this guy. I want to be a part of this. And when he dies, and I'm going to say he dies because they spoiled it in the trailers. So when he dies, it is so satisfying, because you're like, this guy's kind of sucky, but he kind of makes the right choice at the end. I love it. He did fantastic. Anthony Perkins, a fantastic actor. Ernest Borgnine. Oh, there he is. There's nothing better than just a crew of young, sexy people and Ernest Borgnine just showing up, just doing himself. Like, why is he a part of this crew? They call him a reporter. What's he reporting on? It's so silly, and I love it. Just a 60, he looks 60. He looks ancient in this film. But he's not that old, because he outlived half the cast. He just looked really old in this. It's so great to see him just being a curmudgeon-y old man, just running about with a beer belly, just like faking a leg injury to sneak on the ship and then get blown up. It's absolutely fantastic stuff. Of course, the actor who plays Pizer, I can't remember his name. He's I love that they call him like the kid. He looks like he's like 28. He's like the youngest one, but he looks older than me. I think that's fantastic. And of course, Robert Forster. The legend himself as like Commander, is he Captain Dan Holland? Is that his character? Either way, man, perfect. He is the best. Forster just knows how to command a room. He's got that certain like energy to him. I'd call it like a modern day like Kyle Chandler, where you just like that distinctive look. You just understand like, okay, he's tough, he's gruff, he's been through a lot, but he's also kind of sweet and got that sensitive side, and he's willing to do the right thing. He commands this movie. He makes it work completely well. Absolutely fantastic to see his performance in here. But I will say the standout, of course, is Dr. Reinhardt, because the actor playing a Maximilian, I don't understand how this man made it work so well. He's like this creepy old Dr. Zaius type, this like big bushy hair all over the place, this ginormous beard. He is a sociopath from day one. And basically, he's the last surviving member of his crew. If you're seeing the audio format, you can't see the air quotes I made, but he is, making these robots to monitor the ship and keep everything in check. And when these people come aboard, he's like, we're going through the black hole, baby. There's something waiting for me over there. I got to figure out what it is. What a great villain. Because from the get-go, you understand this guy has space madness. Whatever you want to describe it as, this guy has lost his mind to the point where he's literally destroyed his crew. Like, the reveal, and I'm going to say it because I know a lot of young people might not want to watch this, but the reveal that the robots he has monitoring his ship and like doing like a lot of the maintenance work and the crewman work are actually like half dead humans. And when we see Anthony Perkins pull off the face mask to reveal that image of the human, that is fantastic. That is what makes this PG. That is what ups this just a little bit more to make it a little more scary. Because if they were just completely dead, yeah, I mean, robots are frightening, but the fact that these are humans and you just see like the way they're all just slowly dying and decrepit and they're broken and they can't win, and then suddenly they have funerals for those of them who do die, and when they just like the ship starts to crash down and break apart, they can't leave because they don't know how to leave, and they watch Reinhardt just get blown up and die. It is intense. It is scary stuff. It's honestly, it's frightening. And I'm just like, this is PG? Because this is intense. This is terrifying stuff. I'd be scared as hell if I saw this when I was younger, and maybe I was, because it's just like, they're practically like zombies that are half machine, just watching their creator die, and they're like, watching him scream for help, and they're not doing anything to stop it. It's really intense, really terrifying, absolutely bonkers. I love it so much. It is just so cool. It's so fun, so engaging. I loved every second of that stuff. Like, that whole storyline was fantastic. The way that we kind of like the third act of this film is really well done. I watched it, I'm going to assume, with like the remastered visual effects. The camera work in this is unbelievably good. Like, it is just so perfect. It's prestigious. It's quality filmmaking. It looks like a cinematic treasure. That is really cool to see. There's like great shots where like the big like sunbeam is falling down on our last surviving characters, and we get like the silhouette of them running across the beam. That stuff looked really cool and really intense, and the remastered effects really helped that out. But there's one part of this that I cannot wait to bring up, and that, of course, is the robots, because there's a bunch of robots in this, and one of the things that is absolutely unreal is that there's an entire side story dedicated to the old model of Vincent, and we'll get to Vincent in a bit here. His name is Bob. He is challenging the pretty much like the leader of the like Centurion looking robots, like the Royal Guard looking guys. They're just shooting lasers at balls in space. There's like a good 10 minutes dedicated to this like historic rivalry between Star, who was replaced by Maximilian, and Bob, just shooting lasers and stuff. And it's unreal that we took the time to do that. And again, it goes to this thing I want to specify with this film. You could easily remake it, but you would never make it. It's like you could adapt this perfectly, but you would never adapt it perfectly, because you could never spend 10 minutes dedicated to this stupid ball-shaped robot shooting lasers at Darth Vader's like balls. It's ridiculous. And it works so well. So speaking of Bob, he is the older model of Vincent, and Vincent is a main cast member here. He's a bulbous little guy floating around, very R2-D2 inspired, I'd imagine. He could easily get annoying, but there isn't a moment for him to do so. You like Vincent from the get-go. He's a compelling lead. He's a compelling, fun character. And he's very capable. You know, he makes quips. He's very jokey. It's like if you combined, you know, Orko and R2 and 3PO and everything from those stupid robots that you like and brought them together. I love that Bob has a southern accent. It just makes no sense to me. I love that Vincent has a more English traditional accent. I adore that. And their rivalry with Maximilian the robot is fantastic. Maximilian, one of the greatest designs for any machine in cinematic history. A beautiful piece of just scarlet destruction running towards you. I adore it, and I love the way he gets taken out slightly taken out by just Vincent, like driving a saw through his chest, like he stabbed a Oh, it's amazing. I love Maximilian. I love Vincent. They are some iconic designs. If you know anything from this movie, it's those designs. They are fantastic. But that last, I don't know, 5 minutes, you lose me. You lose me. I'm just like, okay. Reinhardt goes inside Maximilian, and it looks like all the people that are dead are inside hell, while the remaining crew members blast off into the black hole and they survive? What the hell is that about? It's so weird. But I love it. I love everything about this movie. The stupid costumes, the goofy premise, the way it talks about a black hole, the way that some guy just becomes completely unhinged and makes his crew into zombies. The robot designs are great. The cast is great. Yvette Mignot is fantastic. Everything about this film, it works. It's not going to be for everybody, but it works. And it could work today, but it would never capture the magic that this one does. I think The Black Hole is a fantastic film and some of the best stuff to come out of that era of Disney. It is a fantastic watch, and I recommend checking out The Black Hole. You will not be disappointed. So thank you guys for watching this episode of Galactic Tales. If you have any recommendations for films you'd like to see me talk about, leave them in the comments below or email me if you're listening to the audio format. As always, you can like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out here. And of course, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.